For more than 30 years, the B-2 Spirit has been the ultimate symbol of strategic reach. It is a flying shadow, capable of slipping through the most complex defenses to strike deep inside enemy territory. It moves like a shadow across the sky, unseen, unchallenged, and unannounced. But technology never stops moving, and neither can the platforms that define American air power. The B-2's newest series of upgrades prove that this aircraft, once thought to have reached the limits of stealth, is now evolving again. It is quietly, efficiently, and decisively becoming a smarter, more connected, and deadlier version of itself. For adversaries who rely on walls of radar and missiles, the stakes for this evolution are immense. The full transformation begins with the most critical system: communication. In past decades, strategic bombers flew alone, relying on old routes and orders set before takeoff. That isolation is now over. The B-2 now carries next-generation satellite communication technology, enabling simultaneous voice and data transmission that reaches across the entire globe. This is not just about talking, it is about survival. The Spirit instantly communicates with command networks, other aircraft, and joint forces in real time. It receives updated targeting data mid-flight. It reroutes instantly around emerging threats. It coordinates strikes with unmanned systems or stealth fighters. This change transforms the B-2 from a lone hunter into a synchronized component of a global strike web. Information dominance decides who wins before any weapon is ever fired. The new communication suite ensures the B-2 remains connected, even in contested environments. Adversaries are deploying jamming, cyber interference, and anti-satellite weapons. They believe they can blind American aircraft, but redundant, encrypted channels guarantee that the bomber can continue its mission even when parts of the network are under attack. The Spirit does not just speak, it adapts. This is the first reward. The enemy's efforts to sever communication are exposed as useless noise. The second pillar of this transformation is the mission systems architecture. Historically, updating the complex software of an aircraft required time-consuming and costly integration. That limitation is completely gone. The B-2 now uses an open mission systems architecture. This allows engineers to update software rapidly and integrate new systems without redesigning hardware. This open structure future-proofs the bomber. It lets the aircraft evolve at the speed of technology itself. When new sensors, weapons, or defense algorithms appear, they can be installed quickly through modular updates. The difference is clear. The B-2 is no longer a locked machine. It is a living platform that continuously adapts to the shifting demands of modern conflict.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
Stealth has always been the B-2's soul. The low observable materials that make it invisible have undergone major refinements. Engineers improved the radar-absorbing composites, coating its surface. They used next-generation polymers that reduced the radar cross-section even further. To a high-frequency radar, the aircraft now appears smaller than a bird. It is nothing more than a fleeting distortion in background noise. The composite skin includes layers that scatter and absorb radar across multiple frequency bands simultaneously. Every panel and every curve was precisely recalibrated. The aircraft's dark profile, already legendary for its ability to elude radar, now becomes even harder to perceive across multiple frequencies. For adversaries investing billions in new radar arrays and detection systems, these changes are frustrating proof that the B-2 remains decisively ahead of the curve. The bomber can fly directly over a radar installation and still slip through undetected. It does not merely avoid radar, it erases itself from it. This refinement is the culmination of material science, geometry, and physics, leaving no doubt about American technical dominance. The new materials also mean that the once fragile stealth coatings now endure harsh weather and temperature with minimal damage. This means faster turnaround, longer missions, and lower logistical footprints, a decisive advantage in prolonged operations. But stealth alone no longer guarantees survival. The modern battlefield is an electromagnetic storm. Therefore, the B-2's sensor and avionics suite was completely overhauled to master modern threat landscapes. Its upgraded sensors detect and identify potential dangers earlier and with greater precision. Advanced radar warning receivers and passive sensors monitor the electromagnetic spectrum. They map hostile radar emissions and identify their type, origin, and range. This deep awareness gives the bomber more time to react. Inside the cockpit, the transformation is just as profound. The avionics refresh simplifies complex data into actionable visuals. Pilots no longer see isolated readings. They see a unified digital battle space where threats and opportunities are displayed in real time. The aircraft anticipates danger and recommends countermeasures before exposure occurs. This fuses human judgment with computational precision. It keeps the crew one decision ahead of every potential threat. This seamless fusion of man and machine defines the future of stealth operations. The upgrades extend to the Defensive Management System, or DMS. This system once relied on pre-programmed data about known radars. Now, it identifies, classifies, and adapts to unknown radar signatures mid-flight. Even if an adversary deploys a new radar model or frequency pattern, the B-2 can detect its emissions, log its behavior, and adjust without external support. In essence, the bomber learns while flying. That adaptive stealth turns previously static defense plans into living systems that are resilient and self-correcting. In radar-dense environments, terrain becomes the B-2's shield. Its flight computers use real-time terrain-following radar to map mountains, valleys, and canyons with surgical precision. It flies so low that radar beams glance over it like light over a ripple. The DMS autonomously adjusts the bomber's route while maintaining mission speed. The result is a moving ghost, threading through radar shadows with mathematical accuracy. Adversary nations like Iran and North Korea rely heavily on integrated air defense networks, webs of overlapping sensors designed to overwhelm intruders. Yet these systems depend entirely on communication, synchronization, and reaction time. The B-2's stealth, paired with electronic disruption, targets these dependencies directly. It doesn't fight the radars. It breaks the coordination between them. When communication collapses, so does the entire defense. The bomber only needs to dismantle the system's cohesion to achieve total dominance. Survivability has been pushed to new heights through an enhanced electronic warfare package. This package is designed to defeat radar-guided threats and advanced surface-to-air missiles. These systems analyze incoming signals, generate tailored jamming responses, and deploy optimized countermeasures. It is a high-speed cat-and-mouse game where milliseconds decide outcomes.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The B-2's upgraded software gives it the reflexes of a predator rather than prey. It creates a multi-layered cloak, part physical and part digital. This renders it nearly untouchable, even in the most contested skies. The Spirit blends invisibility with information dominance. This dual edge ensures the bomber is not merely surviving hostile airspace, it is mastering it. One of the least visible, yet most critical upgrades lies in heat management. New airflow systems disperse engine exhaust gases along widened channels, cooling them before they are released. The result is an infrared signature so faint that even advanced thermal imagers struggle to isolate it from ambient background heat. In regions where layered detection uses both radar and infrared tracking, this becomes a decisive humiliation for the enemy. A missile battery might detect a thermal anomaly, but by the time it aligns, the signal has vanished. The B-2 systems calculate every radar sweep, every power level, and every angle of detection. Instead of simply hiding, it manipulates detection, positioning itself within blind zones where radar reflections cancel out. To ground operators, it appears as background noise. Nothing to worry about, nothing to shoot at. This psychological effect convinces the enemy they are safe until it is too late. The most critical area of modernization is weapons integration. The B-2's mission has always been to deliver massive, precise power at global range, and now it does so with unprecedented versatility. Its internal bays can deploy advanced munitions like the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator. This weapon is capable of striking deeply buried, hardened targets that no other bomber can reach. The integration of newer precision-guided weapons broadens its operational spectrum. Each bomb the Spirit carries is not just destructive, it is decisive. The ability to surgically eliminate underground bunkers, missile silos, or command centers without detection redefines deterrence itself. Its precision is now measured in inches, its range in continents, and its survivability in decades. When paired with modern targeting pods and advanced data links, the B-2 is transformed into a scalpel in strategic warfare. It can act independently or in concert with platforms like the B-21 Raider. The Spirit's role is shifting from a singular stealth bomber to a central node in America's long-range strike ecosystem. The timing of these upgrades holds a deep strategic meaning. Near-peer rivals are investing heavily in anti-access networks. These dense webs of radar, missiles, and sensors are designed to keep U.S. aircraft out. The B-2's modernization signals a clear final response. The skies are not closed. The United States is reasserting its ability to reach any target, anywhere, at any time. While other bombers rely on numbers, the B-2 relies on invisibility, precision, and persistence. These enhancements ensure it remains untouchable and indispensable. The B-2 Spirit can now navigate electronic warfare storms and maintain real-time coordination with satellites and stealth fighters. It can strike from distances where the enemy's radar horizon cannot even perceive its approach. This evolution confirms a larger shift in doctrine. The Air Force is moving from platform-centric warfare to network-centric operations, where data is the most valuable weapon. The B-2's new systems allow it to act as both spear and sensor, collecting intelligence even as it delivers kinetic force. Its open architecture means it can integrate with AI-driven targeting systems and autonomous drone escorts. It adapts to threats faster than adversaries can invent them. This is a deep-seated resilience. The upgrades demonstrate how an aircraft introduced in the 1990s can evolve to confront the complex threats of the 2030s. The B-2, once expected to retire with the arrival of the B-21, now serves as a complementary operational bridge between generations. It continues to provide the United States with a stealth platform capable of missions no other aircraft can replicate. This maintains deterrence through absolute credibility. The mere knowledge that a B-2 can operate undetected inside the world's most guarded airspace is enough to instantly influence geopolitical calculations. Nations that invested billions in dense air defense networks now face an uncomfortable truth. The technology they rely on was designed for a visible enemy. Against the new B-2, visibility is no longer guaranteed. Even sophisticated systems like Russia's S-400 or China's HQ-9 depend on detecting a return signal to engage. If that signal does not exist, their missiles are useless. The same is true for Iran's Bavar 373 or North Korea's KN-06. These potent systems were all designed around the flawed assumption that stealth has limits. The B-2's upgrades are erasing those limits. The strategic consequence is clear. Reliance on surface-to-air missiles alone has become a critical vulnerability. States that once felt secure behind radar coverage now find that their most critical defenses can be penetrated without warning. The new B-2 does not merely evade air defenses, it invalidates them. This forces adversary nations to attempt a massive and costly shift away from linear, radar-based defense toward multi-layered, data-driven detection ecosystems. They must integrate passive sensors, infrared tracking, over-the-horizon radar, and even space-based surveillance to stand a chance of early detection. This integration is complex. Passive sensors lack precise targeting. Infrared tracking struggles with range. Over-the-horizon radar offers only early warning, lacking accuracy. Only when fused through artificial intelligence and advanced computing can these systems approximate a coherent picture of stealth targets. That is a technological leap that most nations cannot yet achieve. This creates a widening gap between those who can adapt and those who cannot. The United States is accelerating away from traditional defense models, already mastering multi-domain integration. Meanwhile, nations like Iran and North Korea, heavily reliant on surface-to-air denial, are trapped in an obsolescence cycle. Their defenses may look impressive, but their radar networks are being rendered strategically hollow. The upgraded B-2 exposes this fragility. It does not need to destroy every site, it just needs to prove that their missiles cannot lock on. That psychological impact alone reshapes global deterrence. The threat of an invisible aircraft capable of penetrating any defense network forces adversaries to invest billions in counter-stealth infrastructure. It warps their defense budgets and redefines their entire strategy. Adversaries are forced to divert resources, deploy radars continuously, and exhaust personnel with endless vigilance, all to guard against something they cannot detect. That exhaustion is part of the weapon. The B-2 does not just strike targets, it erodes the enemy's confidence. Its invisibility becomes a form of constant pressure. The communication and radar upgrades push this deterrence into a new dimension. The bomber can now share targeting data directly with other stealth assets and command centers mid-mission. This real-time synchronization means multiple B-2s can operate as a coordinated swarm, covering each other's radar exposure zones while striking from different vectors. It turns 2 aircraft into a network and 10 into a ghost fleet. That collective stealth architecture will define how future wars are fought. Invisible formations moving with a single, adaptive intelligence. This is the next level of the psychological deterrent. The B-2's power lies not in invisibility alone, but in the certainty it projects and the uncertainty it creates for the enemy. A radar operator who does not trust what he sees, a general who cannot predict what he cannot track, a nation that cannot confirm when or where it might be struck. These are the victories stealth achieves without a single bomb dropped. This psychological deterrence is its own kind of stealth, not hiding the aircraft, but hiding certainty itself. The B-2's upgrades are not just about preservation, but complete transformation. They extend its relevance far beyond its original Cold War purpose. Where it once aimed to deliver nuclear deterrence, it now serves as the world's ultimate precision strike platform. It is capable of reaching any target on the planet without being seen, tracked, or intercepted. Its presence signals not escalation, but total inevitability. In the end, the B-2 Spirit's new life proves that invisibility is not a static goal. It adapts, learns, and deepens. Against radar walls and missile webs, against nations that rely on detection to feel secure, it remains the unanswered question: how do you defend against what you cannot perceive? The upgraded B-2 does not just evade that question. It flies through it, unseen, unstoppable, and utterly silent. The B-2 is, for now, the closest any aircraft has come to the ideal of true undetectability. In operational terms, it achieves what stealth was always meant to do: deny the enemy control of information. It moves unseen, strikes unopposed, and vanishes before the counterattack. That is not invincibility. It is dominance through deception. The B-2 does not need to be perfect to be powerful. It only needs to stay one step ahead of the sensors trying to find it. And so far, it always has. A weapon built to disappear has re-emerged sharper than ever. It proves that in the realm of strategic air power, American invisibility still reigns supreme. What you've seen is only the beginning. America's power is just getting started. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll watch US jets and technology strike even harder.